Abibi Fahodie, African liberation for all African people, bringing you greetings, brothers and sisters, from the beautiful island of Wadudley, a place that I am blessed to be able to call home. Yes, indeed, the beautiful island of Wadadli, more popularly referred to as Antigua. And we call it Wadadli because Wadadli is the name bestowed upon this land by the indigenous people of this land. Much like IET is the indigenous name of IET, Wadudley is the indigenous name of Antigua. So due honor and respect to the indigenous people of this land, we call it by the name that they gave it, Wadudley. And right now, we are at the monument for one of our great ancestors, a great ancestor by the name of Chief Kwaku Takyi, more popularly referred to as King Court or Prince Klaas, a national hero, brothers and sisters, of Antigua. A national hero because he was one of the ancestors on this land who fought for the liberation of African people. Let's tell the story of Chief Taki, King Court, Prince Klaas. Born in what is today the West African nation of Ghana, among the Ashanti people, Chief Taki, King Court, Prince Klaas, was captured and trafficked across the Atlantic Ocean and brought into enslavement in the 1700s. Just as a child of around 10 years old. And the circumstances of his capture and kidnapping and trafficking into the brutal system of European enslavement was the fact that a war had broken out in the Ashanti Kingdom. Them say it was a civil war that allowed the British and Dutch enslavers to take advantage of this division among African people and traffic many into the system of enslavement. And I point this out because many of us as universal African nationalists, as Pan-Africanists, understand that a significant feature within the political ideologies that are inspired by the vision of Pan-Africanism, the unity of black people, of African people, is the harsh lessons learned from our history, in the sense of the fact that division among us usually tends to benefit the enslaver, the oppressor, the colonizer, and thus were the circumstances under which our ancestor, Chief Taki, King Court, Prince Klaas, was trafficked into enslavement. But as a rebellious and proud African, being enslaved on this island from a child, when he grew to be a man, he grew to be a man yearning for freedom. And not just yearning for freedom, but yearning for his freedom and the freedom of the African people on this island as African people. He was so well respected that in somewhere around 1728, a enshrinement ceremony took place in which our ancestor, Chief Taki, King Court, Prince Klaas, was enshrined and installed as the king of the Africans on this island, Wadadli, Antigua, brothers and sisters. Now, the enslaver, the European, the Bakra, observing this particular ceremony, took it for just any other ceremony of the Africans, a little quaint ceremony of them African slaves over there. Well, brothers and sisters, what they didn't understand is that that particular ceremony was a declaration of war against them as the enslavers, a declaration of war against them as the Europeans, a declaration of war against them as the colonizers. And Chief Taki, King Court, Prince Klaas, was designated the leader of this organized mass of African people across the island of Wadudley, Antigua, amassing many, many plantations, and including 10 of the biggest plantations, brothers and sisters, on this island, Wadudley, Antigua. And the monument behind me tells of some of the story of the plan and the organizing of this particular revolution in the making. Make we hear what the monument have to tell we.
Klass, Tomboy, an enslaved African born on the island, and the other enslaved leaders planned an island-wide insurrection to commence on the night of Monday, October 11, 1736, when the annual ball commemorating the King of England's coronation was due to be held. Most of the resident white population were scheduled to attend. Tomboy, a carpenter, was given the job of making the ballroom seats. This made it easy for him to get into the house, plant gunpowder and blow up all the gentry of the island while they were at the height of their mirth. At the shot of a gun and the beating of a drum as a signal, the enslaved Africans were to set fire to the house, and the African musicians were to depart after the blast, and everything in confusion. 3 or 4 parties of 300 or 400 men were to enter the town at different parts, kill all white people at sight. Meanwhile, 7 strong guards were to be placed in the outer part of the town to prevent help from reaching the beleaguered whites.
And so it's important to remind ourselves, brothers and sisters, that the ultimate goal of this particular revolution in the making, led by our ancestor, Chief Taki, King Court, Prince Klaas, was the establishment of a free and a liberated African nation run, governed by self-determining African people under our own culture and governance systems, political systems and economic systems. They refer to this in historical records as the Kingdom of Antigua. I don't know if that is a name that the Africans who were in rebellion and revolution in the making gave to this particular nation in the making, but it is referred to in historical records as the Kingdom of Antigua, brothers and sisters. It's important for us to note that the ultimate goal in the rebellion was the establishment of a free and liberated African nation. Well, what happened, brothers and sisters? Unfortunately, the ball that I mentioned earlier for King George II, bearing in mind that the enshrinement of Prince Klaas as king was a direct challenge to the authority of King George II. But that particular ball that was being held in his honor, that date was moved to the 30th of October. And unfortunately, many Africans who were enslaved in these islands of the Caribbean were enslaved in body. Not all of us, not all of our ancestors were enslaved in mind. But there was one such African who was in fact enslaved in body and enslaved in mind on this island of Wadudley during the time of our ancestor, King Court, Prince Klaas, Chief Taki, and all of the hundreds of Africans who were organizing with him. And this particular African who was enslaved in mind, went to Bakramasa and unveiled and revealed the revolution, the plans for the revolution in the making to the enslaver, to the colonizer. And so the enslaver and the colonizer, in this instance, British enslavers and colonizers, captured our ancestor, Chief Taki, King Court, Prince Klaas, and upwards of 100 of those who were organizing with him. And I believe 80-something of them were put to death, brothers and sisters. Still, we remember Chief Taki, King Court, Prince Klaas, for his sacrifice. We remember him for his vision. We remember all of the Africans who organized alongside him and put the fear of our ancestors in the colonizer, to the extent that they had to exact brutal reprisals against our ancestors for a plan that they had not yet fully put into fruition. They had not yet even fully engaged in. Just the plan put the fear of our ancestors in the colonizer. And so let us honor Chief Taki and all those who organized alongside him according to the traditions of our ancestors.
Tendamwade, tendamwade, tendamwade. Kuzai muzimu mukuru. Kuzai muzimu mukuru. Kuzai muzimu mukuru. Iba shegu, iba shegu, iba shegu. Onyankopon asaseyana na num shraye. Onyankopon asaseyana na num shraye.
Onyankopon asaseyana na num shraye. Onyankopon asaseyana na num shraye, shraye, shraye. We give honor and praise to the Mother, Father, creative life force of the universe. We give honor and praise to Divine Father Heaven and Divine Mother Earth. We give honor to our ancestors, our great ancestors, because our ancestors are worthy to be praised. Mojuba, 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 Shraye, Shraye, Shraye. We have come to pay homage and celebrate the life of our great ancestor, Kwaku Takyi, known as King Court, Prince Klaas. Shraye, Shraye, Mojuba, Mojuba, Shraye. We honor him and we thank him for his work in organizing African people on this island, Wadudley, Antigua, Shraye, Shraye, Mojuba, Shraye. We thank him for his sacrifice and we thank all those who organized alongside Kwaku Takyi, King Court, Prince Klaas, for their sacrifice and their work on behalf of African people, their work for the liberation of African people, their work for the establishment of a free African nation on this island of Wadadli, Antigua. May our ancestors known and unknown be praised. Shraye, Shraye, Shraye. We thank Kwaku Takyi, King Court, Prince Klaas, for his vision of a free and redeemed African nation. And we want him to know that his vision continued in the work of Makandal and Cecile Fatema and Bookman Doty and Papa Jean-Jacques Dessalines and Mama Félicité and all the warriors of the Haiti Revolution. His vision continued in Chief Taki of Jamaica. His vision continued in Nani of the Maroons. His vision continued in the work of Denmark Vesey. His work continued in the work of Martin Delaney and the most honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey, Queen Mama Amy James Garvey, Henrietta Vinton Davis, and all those who built and worked and sojourned in the UNIA ACL Mojuba, Mojuba, Mojuba. We honor Kwaku Takyi, King Court, Prince Klaas, and we ask that you continue to infuse our minds, our bodies, and our spirits with your inspiration. Please continue to inspire us. Please continue to send us your knowledge, your wisdom, your overstanding, your energies from the ancestral realm, that we may imbibe the vision of a free and redeemed African nation, a vision you fought to bring into being. May the people of Wadadli Wa Omoni, Antigua and Barbuda continue to be inspired by your vision and your work, to fight for greater levels of sovereignty, free of the shackles of the neo-colonial order that currently dominates this region. And may we all work towards self-governing and self-determining African nations across this planet we call Earth, in and across these islands of the Caribbean, and of course, across the length and breadth of our mama land, Mama Africa. Kwaku Takyi, King Court, Prince Klaas, we honor you. Shraye, Shraye, Mojuba, Mojuba. And we vow to continue your work. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe.